Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking and talking about the Sound Innovations book, the advanced book. And we're going to be in the very beginning on page 2. And the first thing that it has us sort of talking about are bowing lanes. And for our purposes, when the book talks about bowing lanes, what they're referring to is the place where the string and the bow hair connect and meet for whatever dynamic level you're trying to get. So in general, the closer to the fingerboard you go, the softer or the more quiet the dynamic level, and the closer that you go to the bridge, the louder the dynamic level will be. And I know that you know that already. There are many other factors, as you know, so bow speed, bow pressure, bow weight, the amount of bow, all of those also factor in with dynamic level, but for right now, they're just sort of talking about that. So if you take a look at number 1, you can see that there are many different dynamics. We're starting with mezzo forte, mezzo M-E-Z-Z-O, meaning half, so not quite forte, but close, and then mezzo piano, meaning half piano, literally, so, or rather, it's almost as quiet as piano, so it's a little bit louder than piano. So you can rehearse that one. If you use your book, on the back of it, actually, you see near the barcode. So I don't know if you can see it, but above where the barcode is, there's I believe a 5-digit number. And if you enter that into the website that you can see right under where it says level 1 sound, you type that website in and then put in that number, you will have a backing track that can play along with you. You can adjust the speed as well. So that's kind of a nice feature to have. So number 1, number 2, practice those, and as well as number 3, really being careful of any dynamic changes. And if you're getting quieter, to move your bow closer to or farther away to the fingerboard. If you're getting louder, move the bow closer to the bridge. Now I really want to talk about number 4 and number 5. So number 4 utilizes a technique called sul tasto. So sul tasto meaning that we're playing with the bow hair way over the fingerboard and very, very light. Very little pressure, if any, and quick bow speed. The effect and the result, if you do it correctly, is sort of an icy sound. You hear what almost sounds like distortion, what would be like a distorted guitar pedal or something. It sounds a lot like that. So it feels wrong, but because it sounds different than what we're used to trying to produce. But this is what I say: if it sounds wrong, I probably shouldn't use that word, but if it sounds like something that you're not used to wanting to go for, that's probably you're doing it right. So this is what it sounds like, sul tasto, over the fingerboard. So it's super, super light, very, very light, and we're moving it very quickly as well. So you can take a look at that one. Also the dynamic level, pianissimo. So super, super light, very quiet, very quick bow. So I'll play that for you. So I don't have it memorized. So this is number 4. 1, 2. So it's a very, very quiet little sound. Now, for number 5, we have sul pantacello, which is similar. It's similar in that there's very little bow weight, there's a lot of bow speed, but the biggest difference is that instead of the bow hair being over the fingerboard, it's over right next to, or sometimes even on top of, the bridge. Not on the opposite side of the bridge. We don't want to do that because then we get different pitches. Totally. But we do want the bow hair to be right next to the bridge. Again, it feels wrong. Because that's not where you're used to putting your bow, but it is correct. So I'll just play a little scale or something with sul pantacello, and notice that my bow is very close to the bridge. So it almost sounds like a distorted guitar pedal. That's what we're going for. And then so for number 5, it will sound like this. Should sound something like this. Notice that the dynamic level is forte, so maybe a little bit more pressure, but honestly I would do more bow speed and less additional pressure because we don't want that. that last note was a little bit too normal sounding. So it does take a while to get used to it because it goes against everything that we have been training you to do and that you've been working on for years. But the result, if the whole ensemble does it, is really, really neat. It's a very cool, sort of literally cool sounding and feeling bow technique. And it literally does sound like a distortion pedal for guitar. So that's kind of what they base it off of. And just a quick little note, the reason why it sounds that way is because when you're playing the note, when we're playing the string, and you're not you're not digging in, the string is barely vibrating. So what you're hearing are the overtones of the string itself. So you're not really hearing the fundamental of whatever note you're playing. You're hearing the harmonic series, whatever note might come out of the harmonic series. So if I just play my open D string, we're going for, right? But if I move my bow closer to the bridge and play very quickly and lightly, you hear higher pitched notes, right? So those are, believe it or not, all of those notes are contained within the note D when you play it normally. You just don't hear them that clearly. This technique brings out those upper notes. So have fun with that. And that is what we're doing today for the first few days of this week. Have fun.